I would say we are not solely a fixed income firm. We are a full service investment bank. Fixed income is our core competency. We were founded in 1969 as a municipal trading firm, one of 55 firms in Memphis, Tennessee to start between, I think, 69 and 73. And there are 3 remaining. So we morphed from a municipal specialty firm in the early 70s into more of a generalist fixed income firm throughout the 80s and 90s. And then with this expansion, we've actually broadened our horizons a bit to include equities as well as asset management. The breakdown between institutional versus the private client world, we are still primarily an institutionally based firm. However, truly believe that the bulk of our growth over the next 10 years will come within the private client group. The business in 2010 versus 2009, I'll take that first. It's been pretty spotty. I think everybody in the industry is a little bit puzzled by the way business is going in 2010. At the beginning of the year, it seemed that it was a lot slower than '09. And people were comparing the beginning of 2010 to the beginning of 2009, which in many cases were record type months and a record first quarter for most. And so 2010 got off to a slow start in comparison to the beginning of '09. However, throughout the year, business has improved, obviously with rates remaining low and with a pretty good argument that there could be a sustained period of low rates. It makes for a bullish fixed income market. As for how our philosophy has changed, it really hasn't. And that goes back to the roots of this expansion. This expansion is actually based on growing the firm through acquiring more firms just like us throughout middle market America. The Main Street firms, if you will. Duncan's idea behind this expansion was to contact and try to merge with, acquire, or partner with firms throughout the country who look and feel a lot like we do. So philosophically, that's a very long-term approach to this expansion, and nothing would have changed throughout the different markets. Going back to our basic philosophy of expansion, our opportunities will always come from the same source. Other firms, the middle market firms and Main Street America, who look and feel like we are and like we do, and who are looking for some sort of an exit strategy. These firms might be full service, but each one of them probably has some sort of a component of fixed income, whether it's on the retail side or whether it's institutionally based. The opportunities that exist coming out of the credit crisis, I think, will be more so in the firms, the smaller firms which started up as a result of displaced participants in the market. So the 5 guys in a Bloomberg story that you heard about a lot in 2008 and 2009, small groups of people that would form broker-dealers and start up. The benefit to that at that time was these people had great relationships, very deep relationships with accounts, and that's typically the only thing that mattered in 2008 and 2009. What's happened in 2010 is Wall Street has come back a bit with the capital on their balance sheet. And that means that the 5 guys in the Bloomberg are at a bit of a predicament. They may need to team up with a little bit larger firm, still stay on the regional type firm model, but team up with someone a little bit larger. So there could be opportunities for us there. There are some new challenges. Certainly the same challenges that have always existed in relation to competition are still there. New challenges are an historically low rate environment. People are fearful both on the sell side and on the buy side. When does this bull market end? When are rates going to go back up, and what do we do? What do we do about that? How do we make sure that every customer is happy, which is everyone's mantra, in a rising rate environment? and that's difficult at best. The other challenge, I think, is on the regulatory front, and we spend a lot of time at the BDA talking about that. And I think one of the major challenges on that front is that throughout the credit crisis, I really believe that that both buy-side and sell-side firms felt like there would be a consolidation of regulatory bodies. And at the end of the day, there wasn't. We lost one regulatory body and we gained one. And so we're net the same as we were before this crisis began. The result of that is that inefficiencies still exist within the regulatory environment, and I think that's a challenge going forward for all firms. We are hiring. The benefit of a 10-year expansion is that we're always hiring. So it keeps me very busy as I'm out recruiting people and talking with firms and doing due diligence on different business lines to add to the firm. We never want to get too far away from our core competency, so we're always looking for professionals in the fixed income world. However, we have added some business departments, as I mentioned earlier, equity capital markets. We've added asset management. We're spending quite a bit of time on building out an asset management arm for the company. The private client group is an area where we are dedicating a tremendous amount of resources of the firm. As I mentioned earlier, we believe the bulk of our growth over the next 10 years will come from our private client group. We're very excited about 2011, very bullish on 2011 for Duncan-Williams, Inc. We have spent the better part of the last 3 years now building some new business lines in anticipation of a rising rate environment. I don't know if that'll happen in 2011, but what I do know is that our offerings of products and services are much more diverse today than they were 3 years ago, and that should benefit us each year going forward.